Hello, today we're going to be going over a student enrollment process. We're also going to segue that into an incident report that's going to be involving the same student. Now, in front of us, you'll see just a mock-up webpage of a unified school district, Beach City to be exact. And so what's important for Laserfiche Forms and Laserfiche in general is that it fits directly into whatever the aesthetics and whatever websites you already have set up. So as you can see, this link that says register now is going to link us directly over to a Laserfiche form, and then we'll be able to get started. In follow-up demos, I'm also going to be going over a K-12 specific HR onboarding process and a K-12 specific individualized education program request. So if you have any interest in those, please find them within our YouTube channel and they should help you out. Okay, so we're going to go through and get registered. Now, a couple things that you'll see here. So, of course, Laserfiche, the aesthetics look really good, really clean and crisp. You can see that our form has been separated into 4 different forms to make it really palatable for anybody filling it out. So I'm going to go through and fill out these forms. So we're going to go through and Cesar Chavez Elementary School, and we'll say that we are grade 11. Now, one thing that I want to do is I want to be able to go through and look up to see if this is an existing child within the school district, right? Because you don't want to have duplicate information, even if you're working with disparate systems. So I'm going to go through and say that they've previously enrolled. So transfer, we'll say transfer from another district, previously enrolled, yes, which school, and we'll go through and say it was Beach City High School, fall of 2017, and the student ID was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we'll see that that automatically filled out this person's last name and first name, filled out their date of birth and their gender, making it a lot easier on me. Also filled out their address. Let's go through with the student's race. You can see that you have the option to select everything here. And then, of course, we also have dynamic fields. So is the home language Spanish? Yes or no? In need of any special services? And it's automatically going to give me an option to select several things for that student. So for this one, we'll press no. And for this one, you can also see that there's an option to fill out any allergies. Now we're going to go through and upload documents. Now the really nice part about Laserfiche in conjunction with this is that not only are you transmitting documents, but you're also able to go through and upload them and have them automatically route to the student's folder. So you're not going to lose them. They're automatically going to go over to where all the other student documents are going to be, incident reports, education reports, all those things. We can also put an antivirus protection on the back end of this to make sure that anything coming in to the system is automatically scanned. Upload that utility bill, a birth certificate, and my shop records. Okay. We can also see that we can also provide links within there. So if I need to have more information about required immunizations, then Laserfiche will just link me directly over to the homepage, and that will have more information for me. Now, one thing to remember with this is that within our form fields, we can see that we have required information. We're also masking data to make sure that it writes correctly to the database right the first time. So again, we're going to be reusing this information over and over and over again. So we always want to make sure that we have correct information. We can even see that it wants me to go through and likely delete that period. Again, keeping all the information prim and proper. We don't want any errors on the back end of the database. Of course, we also have dynamic fields in the sense that we can add and subtract fields. Of course, we can fill out, to the fullest extent of any information that we need for the student. So now we also have the ability to save as a draft. So if I need to go through and say, oh shoot, we have, haven't figured out what daycare we want to use for this person yet. We even have tooltips here, making sure that we're suggested whatever information we need. But we're just going to go through and register. And that'll give us a couple options. We can register another child. Once we load this copy of the submission, we'll also have the ability to be able to download the information. So we can see here that we can download, print, or email for our own purposes. And now let's go on the back end and see what the administrator will see. So we can see here that the administrator automatically got a notification for Anita Chang. So we can see that her date of birth, we can see just some preliminary information for this person. We can see that they're transferring over from another school district. And so let's go ahead and open up that task in Forms. Now this is really nice. There's a lot of things within Forms that I'll need to explain. So for one, we have the ability to go through and self-direct where this information goes and who it's on. So I can see the who, what, when, and where of what happened within the form. I can go through and assign it to a different person on the team. Say I go on vacation. There can even be a round robin system where it gets assigned to people at random to make sure that all the work is evenly distributed. I can flag it for urgency if, say, that person is trying to get into the school district the day before classes start, all of these things. We can see that any information that's already been inputted cannot be changed. If I wanted to go through and link to these documents and go look at the exact information on them to approve them, I can. And then of course, this is for administrative use. So it brings up the assigned student ID. It brings up all the information that I had before. I have the ability to go through and sign this document. At CDI, we also hold the integration for the Docusign integration. So if you all want to use Docusign at all, then please let us know about that. Of course, that is CDI specific, and we have developed that for the Laserfiche software. And then we'll put approved. And one thing we will want to note is that once this is approved, we immediately go back to our forms inbox, and then our forms inbox will be able to show us any outstanding things that we already have. And so we can see here that we've already completed all of our tasks. And this is a really, really important element of Laserfiche Forms, is that this is no longer Outlook inbox where we have 400 different emails, where we have all these different things going on. We can see what's been completed. So update SIS, student registration form submitted, and of course you can see everything that you've done for that month. You can see when you've done it, and you can track the who, what, when, and where of what has happened there. So now I'm going to go through and check my inbox. And you can see that now it's sent an email back to that student. Hello, your student has been signed up. Here's the advisor that's been assigned to your student. Of course, welcome them to the district. And then if we also want to take it a step further, we'll be able to go through and we have a mock-up of our student information system. So of course, this could be Banner, this could be Blackboard, this could be any of those systems that currently exist. And we'll be able to see that our student has been filed into the system. Let's go ahead and look at the details. We can see that they've been added. And then of course, we can also see that I can file an incident report. Now I'm going to come back to this in just one moment because I wanted to be able to show you where all those student documents saved. So if I go to my Laserfiche repository, student records, you'll also see, so Cesar Chavez, and then by last name. And we'll be able to see that a folder was automatically made for Anita. We'll be able to see all of her registration documents have already been saved there. And then all the documents that she uploaded with it will be in the records retention series. So let's sign out real quick. We'll go into Ralph Records. This is also a really good point with Laserfiche. So I was Evan Educator in that previous view, and now I'm going to be Ralph Records, and I'm going to see a completely different view of the system. So you can see Anita's files are right here. We can see that we have a record retention policy of retain for 5 years, then destroy. And then we can see the proof of residency, immunization, birth certificate, and the application itself. We can see that all of the fields have automatically been applied. And we can see what the final disposition actions are for this specific folder. So again, Laserfiche is really good at taking something from its very genesis to where that file will ultimately end once this person either exits the system or keep it indefinitely if that's your choice. Another thing that's really important to remember is that we can also have full metrics of all these things. So if I want to go through to Laserfiche Forms, let's see here, and I want to go through and let's say look at reports. We have a full insight into process, performance, task loads, workload. So I need to go through and select a process. So let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to do one that's a little bit more rich. So we'll do vendor onboarding. And let's take a look at what these reports look like. So I can see how long the report takes, who it's on, how long it takes, again, when it's due. All these metrics, really similar to Microsoft Power BI, are automatically loaded within the Laserfiche system and allow you to really have a good hold on what you're doing within the system. So again, whether it's removing bottlenecks or hiring another employee to make sure that process runs smoother, they're all available to you. Okay, now let's get back to Anita and let's see what happens when we want to file an incident report. So basically what Laserfiche is doing is it's taking the information from the student information system, it's automatically applying it to my Laserfiche form. We'll fill out some simple information. We can see here that even pre-filled we can see here that even pre-filled some of the information for my address. And then of course it gives me an outline of types of harassment, some of the more prominent bullying themes that we see in today's education system. Of course, all these things have to be kind of monitored. Today, we're going to go through and just fill out an accident report. So what's really common with kids is a sprained ankle, sprained ankle while running. And of course, if you wanted to upload photos, you could. Another really great part about Laserfiche is that it hooks into all mobile devices if you'd like. So if you wanted to say, take a picture of the injury or something like that right at that moment, then it could upload that document right then and there. So we'll just say it happened today at 11 a.m. So it happened on the playground, and we'll say it happened specifically on the soccer field. So agree to the disclaimer. Of course, there's a lot of legality that goes around these things nowadays, and so we want to make sure that we have everyone covered, all of our bases covered. So now we'll go through, and you guessed it, we're probably going to have another email come up for us. And there we go. The school nurse has been notified, letting the teacher know that they've, thank you for filling out the accident report. And now I'll be able to go through as the nurse and address this. So completing the incident report. So I'm the nurse, I'm going in, I see all of everything that's happened already, and all I have to do is go through and fill out my section, so the review. So incident is already resolved. Yes, and we'll just say that we wrapped ankle and assigned crutches. Submit the review. and now we have a full record of what's happened. You even have the ability to self-direct some of these emails. So like, let's say we handled it between the teacher and the nurse, and then we, of course, called the parents, but we want to have some formal communication with the parents that this had happened. We can make sure that this was sent to them, and then we have a full PDF accounting of the incident report process. So they can see everything, know exactly what happened, and keep everyone in the loop to ultimately keep this child safe and make sure that we have records of everything going on. So that concludes my demonstration. Again, we went through student onboarding with Laserfiche forms and workflow, and then we saw how Laserfiche Connector could link into the student information system, link information to another Laserfiche form, and again, continue process after process after process. With all of these systems, the most important part is that we take the correct information and are passing it in between our systems fluidly and completely. So on that note, thank you again. My name is Nathan Semper. Again, if you would like to contact us, please feel free to reach us on any of the numbers provided below within our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.